So sadly, Muhammad Ali died in the early hours this morning at 74 years old from respiratory failure. I wasn't really expecting this to happen a couple of days ago when he first got brought into hospital. Apparently, it was supposed to be something minor, something that was going to be dealt with. But it took for a turn for the worst last night, and I kind of just stayed up, reading through all the tweets and reading through the news, and it seemed to be sounding more serious by the minute. He's going to have a few more hours to live. His family's all by his bedside. Eventually had to sleep, of course, because I was working today. And when I woke up in the morning, he died in the early hours of the morning. Well, Ali to me, he was one of the boxers that really got me into it. I remember getting a book, and I can't remember, it was 12 or it was 14. I can't remember exactly when it was. It was 100 best boxers of all time. And the first one I read was Sugar Ray Robson's, and that was really impressive records. But then I switched over and I read the Muhammad Ali's after a few more boxers actually, and I just remember how it just read like a story. It was only short; it was only about 6 pages, but it just completely read like a film. He had no hope against Sonny Liston. He beats Sonny Liston. He's thrown out of boxing. A new rising star comes up in Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier beats Muhammad Ali. Then George Foreman comes up, another Olympic gold medalist, beats Joe Frazier, becomes a champion, beats Ken Norton, who'd already beat Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali somehow manages to beat George Foreman, and he's the star all over again. And it kind of read just like a story, and then at the end, everyone thought that Ali was finished, and then he came back, and then he fought and beat Michael Spinks one more time. It was amazing. I remember reading it and thinking you could turn this into one hell of a film. Then, of course, they released a film many years after that with Will Smith, and it didn't turn out too well. It didn't show Muhammad Ali the way me and other boxing fans seen Muhammad Ali in the documentary The Rumble in the Jungle when we were kings. That's what it's called. And all the different books we read with him. We didn't show the humorous side, didn't show the funny side. It didn't come across that way in the film. I think the Will Smith Ali film was really disappointing. It didn't put Ali in the kind of comedic light that everyone kind of had him in. The charismatic, funny kind of character. So I still hope one day they release a really good film that does justice for Muhammad Ali, something that's funny, something that's charming, something that's inspiring. Just basing a film just around the Sonny Liston fight, and trying to get a lead role as Muhammad Ali that's a lead actor that's just not so well known, so you don't just look at him and you see the Men in Black or anything. So I really hope they do that one day. But Muhammad Ali, they really got me into heavyweight boxing in a massive way in the 90s, more than anyone ever did. I've got a whole stack of his books. I know him probably better than any other heavyweight boxer, and everyone does. He's the most famous sportsman in the history. I mean, I don't know if that's true in America, but certainly around the rest of the world, he's the biggest sporting icon in history of any sport. He's well known in Africa, he's well known in Asia, he's well known in Australia, he's well known in North America, South America. Everywhere knows Muhammad Ali, and the majority of people believe he was the best heavyweight of all time. So it's sad to hear he died. I always kind of had fantasies when I was younger that they'd come up with for a cure with Parkinson's disease. He'd get better again, and he'd be able to come back with all his funny stories and tell us what it was like back in the 60s and the 70s, and just tell us the funny side to the Rumble in the Jungle that we kind of have to rely on George Foreman to tell us these days. It's sad that Parkinson's has robbed us all of, even if with Muhammad Ali retiring from the sport, he would have been on Parkinson's and the TV show Parkinson's, the interview show in Britain all the time, and he'd be in American talk shows, and he'd be hilarious. He'd be all over the radio and newspapers, and he'd be doing commentary on boxing matches. He'd be a massive star, even without competing in boxing, with just this background in the boxing and how funny and everything he was. I was really hoping that maybe they would find a cure when I was younger, and I realised as I got older that probably was never going to be the case. You know, I even had silly fantasies when I was younger that would actually, maybe do like a little exhibition sparring thing if he got better and stuff like that. But it's really sad that he's died, and I've not actually seen it on the news yet. I'm just back in from work myself, so I just wanted to make this video about Muhammad Ali and just say it's really sad that he's died.